So one of the things which beginners get confused with related to social media marketing or social media use is the jargon or the type of words which are used within the social media industry. So today we'll dive into some of these common terms and what they mean. So one of the most commonly used term is algorithm. So we'd like to know more of what an algorithm is. So could you please share more insights on that?
Okay. An algorithm is basically a set of rules that social media platforms use to determine what content they will put across a user's feed. For example, it's determined by things like the relevance of the post that you've done, the quality, the user's preference, among other factors. So basically, that is what the algorithm is.
Okay. And then when you're new in social media, you're mainly told about engagement. You should look for engagement. What specifically is this engagement?
Engagement is the interaction you get from your audience. It can be in terms of likes, in terms of shares, in terms of retweets, in terms of saves. It's basically what your audience does to the content that you put out there.
And also related to that, we also come across this term called impressions. What exactly are these impressions?
Impression is the number of times a post is displayed on a user's feed. So, for example, if you put out there, how many people are going to see this post that you have posted out here?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, nimechoka.
The next three ni gani?
Sasa, reach hashtag and user generated content.
Reach who have seen a post. Then hashtag is a keyword or phrase preceded by her to categorize. Then user generated content by unpaid. Sawa. Haya. Tick two reach hashtag is the same. Sawa.
Sawa?
Mm.
Okay. Okay. Also, one of the most important things which we come across in social media marketing is the term reach. So, how can you define reach?
Reach is referred to the number of unique users who have seen your post. For example, if you've posted a picture or a video, the number of people who have seen that content, that's the reach.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about hashtag?
A hashtag is basically a keyword or phrase that is preceded by the hash sign. For example, if you're tweeting or posting something about real estate in Kenya, you can put hashtag real estate Kenya, hashtag real estate homes. So that is basically what a hashtag is. It is important so that when people are searching online on the social media platforms like real estate in Kenya, your content is likely to show up among them.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how best can we define user generated content?
User generated content is often refers as UGC. It is basically content that is created by your audience that you have not paid for. For example, you're a hotel, a client comes in and shoots a video in your place, they post it online, and then they tag you. That is user generated content. A client comes in and buys maybe a flower or a vase from your shop. They go to their house, they take a video as they are putting it in their house, and they post it online and they tag you along. That is user generated content, and it's very helpful in growing your audience, and it also acts as evidence as to the products or services that you're putting out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another important term which we come across in social media marketing is the term influencer. So, how best can you define an influencer?
An influencer can be defined as a social media user who has a following, a trusted following. You've heard about influencer marketing. It's basically using someone with a trusted audience and you want to tap into their audience. One thing you need to note when you're using influencers, is that you need to use influencers who have your target audience. For example, you're selling handbags or you're selling baby care products. You need to use an influencer who has a target market that is mothers, who has a great following of mothers. So basically, that's who an influencer is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's also this common term referred to as paid search. How best can you define paid search?
Paid search is basically you paying for your content to be pushed out there to the people who don't know you yet, and they might be your target client. So you pay the social media platforms, for example, if it's Facebook or Instagram, you pay a certain amount of money for them to push your content to a wider audience.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about organic reach? How best can you define organic reach?
Organic reach is basically the opposite of paid audience, of paid marketing. It's unpaid marketing. It's actually known as the traditional form of marketing, where you just put valuable content on your platforms and engage with people who follow you, participating in these online platforms, basically growing your audience the traditional way without using any forms of payment.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a common term mainly used by professional marketers in social media marketing, which is referred to as click-through rate. How best can you define this?
Click-through rate can be described as the percentage of people who clicked on a link that you put out there in your content as opposed to the people who saw it. You understand that when you put out a content, for example, you've put a link on your poster or you've put a link on your comment section, very many people will see it. So 10 people might see it, but only 2 people might click on it. So the click through rate is calculated as the people who took an action by clicking it as opposed to those people who saw it. Yeah.
Okay. And what about conversion rate? How best can you define conversion rate?
Conversion rate can be described as the people who took a desired action on depending on what your call to action was. For example, if your call to action was buy now, how many people actually went ahead and purchased the product or service? If your call to action was sign up, how many people signed up or how many people subscribed? If your call to action was comment, how many people commented on the content that you put out there? So that is known as the conversion rate.
Okay, and we also have this term which is called social listening. How best can you define this?
Social listening can be simply explained as basically trying to hear out what people are saying about your brand. It can be done through survey or even trying to understand what people are saying about your competitors. This is very important, especially for startups, because it helps you not to make the mistakes that your competitors are making. It also helps you to identify the gaps that are existing in the market, and you can fill them through the products or services that you're providing out here. So social listening is very important to a startup, to an established brand, to personal brand. It's one of the key things that you should be doing actually every day. Yeah.
Okay. How best can you define brand advocacy in relation to social media?
Brand advocacy, it's something related to a brand ambassador. This is when your fans or your audience, they voluntarily promote your products or services.
Okay.
They actually promote your brand without being paid. It's whereby you will find people protecting or defending a brand out here. You've seen people, for example, personally, there's a brand that if even people went out here and say brand X is bad, you will come out and say brand X is the best there can be. So that is basically brand advocacy. And it is one of the best ways of marketing online, because these are people who fight for you. These are people who believe in your values and your offerings.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also, one important thing which people are told all the time in relation to social media marketing is you need to have a content calendar. What exactly is a content calendar?
A content calendar, basically, in simple terms, it's a schedule that you follow for preparing your content. It basically involves the type of content that you're going to put, the days or times that you're going to post. It can also involve you adding images or basically the graphics that you'll use. It basically acts as a plan that helps you to plan your content. You just don't wake up and start thinking, okay, today what am I going to post? You need to have a plan, you need to have a flow, and it also helps you in consistency, because you will realize if you just randomly post on your feed, the flow might not be there. You might even find for a whole week you've been talking about one topic, whereas having a content calendar, it will help you plan in advance. Yeah.
Okay. And there's also a common term referred to as geotagging.
Okay.
How best can you define this?
Geotagging is tagging a geographical location in your post. For example, if you're doing a post and you're in Nairobi, Kenya, it's important to tag Nairobi, Kenya, so that when users are searching, it actually helps with the search engine optimization. I know that's another term I have introduced. It's basically optimizing your profile so that when users search you, it's easier for them. It's the same way for geotagging. So when you put your location, it helps users in that particular place find you faster on the social media platforms.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's also this common term referred to as DM. What exactly is a DM?
Oh, DM. Yeah, you hear DM me, DM us for prizes,
Yes.
something that most people don't like. DM is basically direct messaging. It's the messaging part of the social media platforms. For example, on Instagram, it's direct messages. It's basically an inbox on social media platforms.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about stories? What exactly are these particular stories?
Stories is it's a function on the it's a feature on all social media platforms. Most of them they expire after 24 hours. It's basically a way of reaching out to your audience in by using images or graphics or texts, as opposed to the feed post. So it's a feature on the social media platforms whereby you're able to engage with your audience, and it usually expires within 24 hours, unlike the posts which have a longer lifespan. They actually stay forever on your feed unless you delete them. So that's what stories are.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about a meme? We find most of the time people say posted a meme. What exactly is a meme?
A meme is a humorous way of reaching out to your audience. It's basically a funny poster, something that will make your audience laugh, something that is relatable to your audience, something that has to do with a trending topic or something funny that has happened worldwide or nationwide. It's basically a humor way of promoting your content. But you really need to be careful on when you're using memes for marketing, because they have to be relatable with your target audience and also your industry.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've also mentioned trending. What exactly is trending in relation to social media marketing?
Trending is basically a topic that is being pushed or that many users are talking about. For example, maybe in Kenya, maybe during the time of Mandamano, Mandamano is a trending topic. So you'll find, for example, when you get online and search Mandamano, there are many users who are posting about it, who are tweeting about it. It's basically a trending topic. If there maybe if a natural occurrence has happened, maybe a tsunami or an earthquake, you get online, you search, you will find many people are tweeting about it at a particular time. And one thing with a trending topic is they go out very fast, and they also expire after a short period of time, because you'll find something is trending and you come back after 1 hour, it's not trending. So if you're in the business, if you're in products or services and you want to pop in a trending topic, it's advisable you do it while it's still hot, while it's still trending.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about analytics? What exactly are analytics, or how can you define analytics?
Analytics is the data that is given out by social media platforms. It is basically insights that show you how you're performing on the different social media platforms. For example, the number of followers you're getting, the number of likes you've gotten, the number of post comments, the percentage of reach that you have. And the good thing with analytics is that it helps you to measure your marketing efforts and identify whether the strategies that you're putting in place are working or not. So I would advise people, especially business owners, to be very alert on their insights, and you can be looking at them maybe weekly or monthly so that you can be able to adjust accordingly.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of the most common terms used in most of the social media platforms is bio. What exactly is this bio?
Bio is actually a short form for biography. It is the description that you put out there on your social media platforms. For example, and most of them are limited in terms of character, in terms of the number of words that you can put out there. So you need to be brief and straight to the point. It's not a place where you start giving out stories. It is what you want a user to identify you with when they first search and find you. For example, a biography for someone who's a social media manager is to say who you are and what you can do to them. So you don't start giving out stories, you go straight to the point. So it's basically a biography, a summary of who you are and what you do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And finally, we can talk about feed. What exactly is a feed?
A feed is the content that you see whenever you log in a social media platform. If you get into, for example, Instagram and you start scrolling down, that is your feed. It is basically what other people are posting, the people that you followed, what they are posting out there. That is what the feed, and that is what you see the moment you log in on a social media platform.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that will be all for now. Thank you for following up. Subscribe and like this video to enhance its reach to other people who will gain value from the same. That's it for today. See you next time.